And, you know, coming up the road, and I want you to also think, you know, we've been locked down for quite a while, and people's kind of forgot how to drive. But, you know, take time to look around you. Ready? So, yeah, take time to look around you. Make sure you know your surroundings, what's out there, because there's all kinds of motorcycles on the road, people out there that just driving. And so, you know, be courteous to each and everybody. So help them out. So anyway, we'll start back here where we left off. We're back here at the back of the saw. And as you see, we got the rollers back here. And what we do at the end of the day, we kind of blow it off, clean it up, or you can actually put a little valve down here with a little tube and turn it on at the end of the day, and actually blows the debris and stuff out of the chain. And also, people's talking about the saw has a oil reservoir for the chain. And what happens once that chain gets lubricated, all the accessible oil comes down and goes into this tank, so you can actually take that tank out and throw it away in a environment-friendly way and dispose of it, and then put your new oil back in it, and that keeps the life of the chain. A lot of people say, well, that chain's awful oily. Well, that's the oil's the life of your chain. So we want to keep it that way. So we want to go back up here to the molder, and we can actually do maybe a couple runs, and do a couple runs and do some changeovers and show you a little bit about that, show you what this machine kind of does. So anyway, I don't know if I can hold the mic and talk to you and do all that too, but we'll try. So I'm going to shut the hood. Safety first. And as you see, we're back up here at the computer. So we're going to tell it to go in position. And we are running off a generator, so I have to start the motors up a little bit slow, unlike you would in your facility. There's a lot of things I have to do different on a truck than you would in your facility. So if you look at it, it says position finished. If everything's in position, everything's ready. But I'll never run it without checking. Okay, everything's free. So as I said, we'll start the motors up kind of slow. And always go from the back to the front, and that way something's back there, I can hear it and shut it down quickly. If you look at the drawing up there on the screen, again, when I said earlier, I'm from Tennessee and I love pictures. So it's showing me what we're actually going to run here in a minute. I don't know if you see on the other side of the truck, when I hit these buttons, the generator starts smoking a little bit more. That good old diesel fumes. They should make a clone of that for us truck drivers. That's a cabinet rail. we're going to go up here and do a profile change. As you see, when I said earlier, I hit a button with my finger. Everything's moving in position over here. I'm going to have to lay you down for a minute. You want to hold it?
Hey, so for everyone watching, this is Jimmy on the PowerMobile. This morning we are in Utah, and he's doing a quick changeover on our molder, which, if you just tuned in, is on a truck. This is the PowerMobile, and Jimmy is our PowerMobile guru. So he's just working on the molder right now. And so, hey, if you're watching on the feed, let us know. Drop us a comment, a question. If you have any kind of profiling questions, Jimmy's the man. Hey, if you run a Weinig out there, let us know. So a couple shout outs to folks who are watching right now. So shout out to, first of all, to all of our friends up in our northern neighbor, including the guys at Taurus Craco, and all the guys at Weinig Holzer Canada. Thanks for tuning in. Look, for anyone who's up in Canada watching today, keep in mind there is an event in Canada. It's the Woodworking Technology Days. It's October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. It's going to be taking place at Taurus Craco, and we'll put a link in the description of this video where you guys can get more information about that event as well. So, yeah, a couple more shout-outs to folks, watching from all around the world. I know we got some, folks from Texas. Jose, we see you. Thanks for watching. George, thanks for watching from California. We're headed to California tomorrow, actually, so that's pretty cool. Lee, Lee, good, yeah. Lee's watching, so greetings over to Oregon. And greetings to everyone from the Western Hardwood Association. You guys are great. Anyone who doesn't know about the Western Hardwood Association, look it up. Great group of folks promoting some really good material coming out of the western side of the United States. So, all right, I'm going to give the mic back to Jimmy, and he can kind of walk us through what he's doing.
Hello again, folks. Glad to have you back. I don't know if you got to watch. We changed the molder over from a cabinet rail. We're going to a casing. Then in a few minutes we can change it real quick to a crown. Just to show you the changeovers takes 2 or 3 minutes, where it used to take hours to set up, or the good guy taking 45 minutes or whatever. So we can decrease that time down to a good setup. Say a hard setup may take you 10, 15 minutes at most versus 45 minutes. So if you take that time, you're saving about 3 hours a day just in setup time, which kind of helps pace for the machine and also increase production. Uh-oh, another airplane flew across. All right, I think he said we're back live. Coming at you live from Utah. We're going to run some wood. As you can see, we went from a cabinet rail to another profile. So what we're going to do is shut it down and do one more changeover and do a crown profile to show you how easy that is. Normally you would hit that stop button up there, but with the power supply that I have on here, I want to keep the generator for another couple of days. So again, as last time, we actually go to a profile list and we look up here at that beautiful crown. We find that, we change that. So we go to tool change, and F7 actually opens the machine so you can get in there to actually change the cutter heads and set all your pressure shoes and chip breakers. Where back in the old days, you'd have to get in there with wrenches and everything else to change things, and it'd take a little while. But it takes longer to open it does to actually change the machine over to the next profile. And it kind of prompts you. See, it's kind of like being married again. It says position finish, so you can get in there and change it over. Now we're going to hit the start button. And on this machine we got a start button, and also we have a motor start button. And what happens is you can get creative with your profiles to keep the changeovers at bare minimum. So when you're actually grinding knives, if you're doing a lot of profiles with straights or radiuses or something like that, you can build that into a tool. And on this machine you can actually use the axial position to actually decrease or increase the volume of that knife to actually accommodate a bevel or radius or a broken corner or something of that nature. That way you're not actually physically taking the heads in and out as much. You're actually changing the positions of that head, which will accommodate a different profiles, which speeds up the process of changeover and more runtime and more production at the end of the day. Just got to get a little creative as we do each and every day. Okay, now it says I think we're ready to go. So we're going to start it up and run a piece of crown mold. And no, it's not something you wear on your head. That's something you put above your head and the rooms or wherever. For those people back at home thinking I'm going to put a crown on my head. No, that ain't happen. That's only when I get to heaven. Maybe. And again, we start up kind of slow because the generator's kind of old. Oh, don't want Andy out here paddling the generator. And if you look up there at the screen, I don't know if you can see it, probably Christian's got you, and all those numbers and all those cutter heads, they're all tamed. They're not blinking or anything like that. So that tells me everything's set in position and ready to go. If you have a blinking light, once we get done doing this piece, we'll go back over and I'll go back here and knock something out of position. It'll show you what is going on, so when the operator starts your machine, if you see that, don't run it. And there's another picture. How many times you had somebody running a profile there, chasing somebody all over the facility, say, is this right, this right? Well, there's no need for that anymore. It gives you dimensions, gives you a profile, and it's full scale, so you can actually look at it, measure it, does what he needs to do, and not have to chase you around the building. I'm going to lay you down 1 minute. You want to hold that for a second? Hit that button. Alrighty, we got this crown. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you guys back there in the real world are familiar with what they call a jam up. Have you ever had a jam up? I'm going to show you what we can do. So, you're up here, you're running a piece of wood, everything's good. All of a sudden, some little gremlin comes out of nowhere. Now you got a sticker in there. It won't go. You go, uh-oh. Because you know, you're kind of proud, you set it up, went through it, everything looked good, all your numbers was good, and everything was perfect, but something in there just went bad. And you're going, oh no. Now what am I going to do? I got a wood piece, it's stuck up in there, and it won't come out, and I got to go back in. How am I going to get it back exactly the way it was? Well, that's why Weinig can take care of your problems. All we got to do, if you look up here at the screen, it says tool change and clearing position. So clearing position opens the machine. Machines are moving inside, everything's moving up, out of the way. Now we can actually physically open the hood. There it is. A piece of wood in there, stopped. Imagine that. Everything was doing its job. The top head was doing its job. The side heads were doing its job. Bottom, everything went good, but something just happened. So now that happens in the real world. Whether you want to admit it or not, it does happen in the real world. So now we look at it, everything, make sure everything's okay, nothing's broken, nothing's jammed up and all that stuff, everything's free. And sometimes, you know, in the humidity or whatever, wood just swells up and it just gets tight and it just don't want to go nowhere. It's not your fault, it's just things happen. So what we do, if you look back there, so we're going to tell it to go back in position. See, it's moving back into position automatically. So you don't have to worry about, you know, where am I going to set the chip breaker, where I'm going to do the pressure shoes. Did I get this right? Did I get that right? And you see those blinking arrows up there on the top heads? Well, once everything's done, they'll go away. And it says position's finished. Everything's good. And the computer said there's no errors there anymore. And if you look back through here, everything's set the way it was before we run it. And we shut the hood and we can run another piece. And everything will be good. Run another piece. We was up north one time. This guy wanted to run a piece of profile, so we run this profile, and we done a changeover. And he goes, "I'll tell you what, if you can make that profile match the other profile you run 15 minutes ago, I'll buy a machine." So he took it off, took it to the miter saw, identical. We're not telling stories. It works. It's all in the profiles. You know, the tool's right, the number's right, the wood's going to come out right. And again, for those people like me, old school, that don't like technology, let me tell you, it's coming and it works well. Back in the old days when the computer was on the machine, I had to drive this thing around and everybody thought it was a mark of the beast coming through the city. But it's not. It's help coming your way. Just to go to show you, we went from all three different profiles, and the last profile we run earlier should match up with the profile we run just now. See if we can. So it's not deception. We're not trying to give you big stories. It works well with this computer system. And if you don't want the computer system, we got just the manual machines that you can actually go by here and crank. We can. So instead of these digital readouts, you'll have a mechanical readout, which works the same. Like I said, for those guys that's not in the industry, is working with motors and looking to buy a motor, we got entry-level machines that anybody can operate too. We have a smaller version of a measuring stand. You put it on a shaft, you measure it, you put it in here and you dial it into it, and it does the same, but you are the computer versus computer working servos. So what we're going to do is walk back here real quick, and we're going to run some wood on the rip saw, because you know you pretty much have to have wood to run through the molder, and a lot of people contracts the wood out when they're running molding. They'll have somebody else to buy the wood, somebody else to rip the wood, and things like that. And once you get a volume to a point that you know it costs you more to do that than it would buy you a rip saw, and we can actually get you into a rip saw at a good price, and that way you're in control of all the wood, because you're up to somebody else when they're actually sending you the wood, what kind of quality of wood you're going to get. This way you can buy the wood that you want, store it in your building, and as you need it, you pull it off the shelf, you run it as you need it, and don't have to buy 500 feet, 1,000 feet, whatever, at a minimum, just to get your wood ripped for your molder. That way you're in control of it all. Yep, short people can't jump. That's why we need Andy Turner to just reach up there with his big old strong hand and get a hold of it. As you look there, we got some lasers telling me actually where we're going to cut. Look up here on the screen, we got a 4.5, a 4, and a 2. And I don't know about you guys, but back east, we got a lot of people with big old wide wood. Hate to cut that wood up. It's pretty. If you also look, we actually make real thin strips. Was it burger baskets up in New York, Pennsylvania? They actually bought one of these to actually make strips for all y'all's pretty baskets you buy up there. If you look how many pieces we cut just in 2 boards, so we got a variety of jobs. That way if you're running maple, birch, or anything like that, you can run those as well. And that way, you know, on a single rip saw, you would get this board, you'd have to rerun it and get that board and then get that board. With this one here, we done all of it one time, and that's all in control of the computer up there by your job and your cut list, whatever you want to do. As the customers send in the profiles that they want to run for the molder, that way you can actually pull from the stack, rip your lumber for that particular profile, and not have to pre-rip for a lot of things. And sometimes the customer says, well, I don't want that. Now you already got wood ripped up that you're going to turn it into something else. That way it's just in time, and that way you're not putting a lot of money and a lot of effort and a lot of time into, you know, making something that you'll never sell. So I hope y'all kind of enjoyed today, and I hope we're not, you know, short term. And I just want to say, if you kind of, I don't know, we're going to be out in Texas week after next with Eric. Hello, Eric. I hope you're watching, because we're coming to your city, buddy. We're coming to Texas. So get ready for the PowerMobile. And we just want to, again, thank you all for visiting us and watching us out here in the great state of Utah. And again, coming at you live from Salt Lake City, Utah. So now we hand it over to Andy. Take it away, buddy.
All right. Well, I just want to wrap things up just a quick second, because I've been behind the camera working the stuff. Sorry for our technical difficulties that we had. You know, I think Kevin Grimion said it pretty well the other night. When you go live, you just don't know what's going to happen. So we are going to continue to go live. We want this to be real. But also, one of the things I was thinking about, and I've continued to be impressed, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Jimmy, you're the man on motors and rip saws. You explain things in a way that it makes it so easy for people to understand. Over and over, I've been very impressed with our team of technicians this week, and just how great they are at explaining this technology to everybody that's watching. So thank you again for taking, this has been a long stream, but we certainly appreciate all of your effort, and we certainly appreciate you driving this truck all the way out here. I got a text from my wife when you first got started, just simply saying, that truck is so cool. So
She seen you on the road?
She just saw you this morning. She was watching the live stream.
Oh.
If you do see the PowerMobile on the road, tag us on social media. We'd love to see that. So
give me a wave. I'm a friendly driver.
Yeah.
So, you know, say, hey guys, whatever, if you're a woodworker and you want to talk, hey man, call us. We'll come to your city, come to your place. We'll put on a live show. We won't take 30, 40 minutes of your time. That way all the employees can see everything that's going on. That way they feel like they're part of your team and your facility, as we feel like a part of the team here at Weinig. We're a small knit family, and I'm privileged to work here. And
How long have you been with the company?
about 32 years.
That's dedication. we're going to continue to go live for you today. We're going to be on Facebook. We're going to be on YouTube. We're on WeinigHolster.com. So don't forget those things. That's the 3 ways to tune in. Also, these videos will live on those media platforms later for you to be able to go back and watch it if you think. I remember Jimmy saying something about this, whatever that thing is, and then so that you can go back and watch what Jimmy's told you about it. So, all right. So we're going to wrap this up. I appreciate all of you guys staying with us, helping us, or staying with us even through the technical difficulties. We're going to move on to the next thing now. See you soon.
Yeah, thank you guys. Remember, mask up, wash your hands, keep safe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you again for watching. God bless.